the party of President Lincoln
Mm-hmm.
is now the party of Mr. Cruz and Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, there are lots of reasons, but here I'm going to go back to a subject about which I write. It's not the only reason. It's not the only reason. But an important part of that story is the race story. In the 19th century and for the first half of the 20th century, the white man's party was the Democratic Party. And certainly in the South, the white man's party was the Democratic Party. When the Democratic Party opened up to black people, switch, especially in the South, the race story is an important part of why the party of Lincoln has become the party of Trump and Cruz.
How come that race still matters in American politics that much?
Well, there was a European writing in the 1830s who wrote one of the most incisive analyses of American democracy that exists, Alexis de Tocqueville, Democracy in America. He said, in the United States, you had the crossing of two things. You have, on the one hand, you have slavery, and it was racial slavery. So de Tocqueville said that even when slavery is abolished, there will be this memory. The white people and the black people will know who the slaves once were. Even after slavery is abolished, the black people, we will know that their forebears were slaves. And he thought that this was really the poisoning of the possibility of racial justice in America. I don't think that de Tocqueville was correct. I tend to be an optimist about this. But
Not Ta-Nehisi Coates.
no, not Ta-Nehisi Coates is in the pessimistic tradition. He would say de Tocqueville was right. Not only would he say it, Malcolm X would have said de Tocqueville was right. My former colleague here, Derek Bell, would have said de Tocqueville was right. My father would have said de Tocqueville was right. I have a different tradition. In the 19th century, the great spokesperson from the tradition that I follow would be Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, even before the abolition of slavery, was once asked, do you see a time when there will be racial justice, racial equality in America? And he said, yes. In the 20th century, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. In the 21st century, Barack Obama. Now, the people who follow de Tocqueville are not stupid people. There is a reason to think, he's got a strong argument, and of course it's tragic that that argument is plausible even. It's plausible. I don't think it's ultimately correct, but it's certainly plausible. And, we'll see.